Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of World of Truck. This is the American version, America Truck Simulator. My name is Wilfred. So now there is a special event, truck at home event, COVID-19. So this special event, people just truck at home, don't go out and so on. So that's the spirit. But of course there are other things that go on as well. The objective is to truck 2,500 kilometer. You can make multiple trips. Or in miles, that would be like 1,554 miles. So I look at it from all the maps I've got in the American version. I'll start somewhere in Washington, and I try to find the longest distance I can get to just do it in one shot. I mean, there's no point doing multiple deliveries for I mean, you know, if you can truck it at one shot, why not? So I'm going to take a job whereby it will be from the Olympia in the Washington state, then truck all the way through the Oregon, which is very nice. I think Washington is the most beautiful DLC, by the way. Oregon is also very nice. Nevada is the base game, so it's the standard. Utah is the latest DLC, which is pretty decent as well. Then you see New Mexico, the DLC. So we'll go into New Mexico from Olympia in the Washington state. Cumulatively is 1,627 miles. This is going to be a really long video. I think I'll edit it for you guys. I don't know. I mean, some of you may want to stay on, listen to me just talking about COVID-19 in general or life in general. I don't know. Now this event, I'm going to bring the event page in just a bit, is to also in support of the COVID-19. The reward is not like, you know, we don't know what the reward is going to be yet. The reward is going to be, let me see, event info. So using external contract or external market with the World of Truck as connected profile. So both the European version, American version, that's fine. Cover as much distance as possible, and so on and so forth. There's a personal goal of 2,500 kilometer or more, which is 1,554 miles. We are taking they pledge to undertake a positive action to help those who are combating COVID-19 for each milestone reached. So we'll just go through a milestone there, and we'll see. Let's go for it. Now it's a bit of an evening time, so I think the game is usually a little bit too dark during the evening time. So what I'll do is that wow, hang on a second. Is it like right here, the truck or whatever?
Time to hit the road.
Okay, it's nearby anyway. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done this. I think I may just want to rest first, so that you guys can see daylight instead. No? Usually, I don't know why it doesn't allow me to rest. Strange. Usually you can park here and rest yourself. I don't know why you can't do that. Funny. On the light. Alright, never mind. I can always find another station to rest. Maybe on the wiper as well. It's been a while since I played this. Nearly crashed onto something. Sorry, screaming a little bit. It's been a while since I played this game and the or simulation.
Turn left.
Yeah, I'm just not entirely.
Let's find a new route.
What? Is it not here?
Please make a U-turn.
I'm
when
terrible.
possible.
I'm terrible. So no, it's not here, man. I'm usually not that bad. I'm quite professional when it comes to trucking, but yeah, I'll get used to it. It's just right straight on the other side of the road. Okay. Just make sure there's no traffic.
Keep right, and then turn right.
Yeah, I think this is the one. This is it.
It's all over now.
Right. So I think it's the other side of it.
Turn right.
There's a truck. Okay, so it's there. Okay. I'll just make a turn. Whoa. Okay. I didn't quite see it, but it's just too dark. Okay. Okay. Man, come on, get a grip. I think I can do it. All right, this is cool. That's what happened when you don't play for a while. I haven't not been trucking since January. I think there was an event back then. But since then, I haven't really trucked anything at all. So yeah, it's been like 2 months or more.
Okay, here we go.
Let's see. It's gonna be a rather long journey. So what it looks like from the outside. Ooh, good lord! I really can't remember how to do this anymore. Is it like okay? So this is what it looks like. These are just like very light cargo that need to be trucked very, very far away. Nothing fancy. Alright, cool. Now, alright, cool. And it's going to be dark. What should I do? Well, I'll rest if I can. How heavy is the thing? It's only 2 tons. It's very, very light. So it's good because otherwise it's going to be a very, very tedious kind of journey.
Turn right.
Okay. Roundabout is never my strong point.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
I think I just go ahead. Second exit, okay. Woo, nice. Bit
Exit
dark.
now.
Bit very dark.
Keep right, and then turn right.
Okay,
Turn right.
so this is the part whereby I turn right. Yeah, nice and easy. Well, good thing is that you get to see sunrise in a bit, I guess.
Keep left.
Ooh, there is a speed limit here, 60. All right, cool. Now just cruising. So I don't know what happened to your countries. The whole COVID-19 situation has been rather challenging to a lot of people, not just from the health perspective, but also from an economic perspective. It's going to be very, very the impact is going to be rather rather deep, I would say. But having said that, I mean, it's always a cycle to me because I've seen quite a few things in the past whereby the overall economic has been affected in a pretty bad way. I mean, even the people on the ground as well. Back then it was like I think when I first started working, soon after there was Iraqi war. Well, not that soon, but yeah. And then they have SARS as well, which is also very challenging to people. Then there has been like the financial tsunami that happens to the Asia financial tsunami. So all in all, it's been pretty quiet for the last decade or so. Then after that, you have COVID-19. But I think the challenge of this one is that it affects more geographies and more markets being affected, and there's always a challenge when it comes to recovery. When there's so many countries that's being affected. I mean, everyone is suffering right now. But one thing we know for sure is that with time always heal. Just give it time, I guess. It's not the most ideal situation right now, but just stay at home. I think that is probably the best advice I can give. Just social distancing is so important, but it get a little bit challenging. I don't know how you guys cope with that. I find it rather challenging as well, because I think I'm rather an extrovert. I think when I was small, when I was young, I was more like an introvert, I think, and mainly because my parents actually discouraged me from hanging out with friends and then so on, because back in Hong Kong back then, there's a lot of like bad influence on the street, and they try to keep me off the street kind of thing. No bad influence, but the challenge of it is that I don't really get to know people or friends at all. So a large chunk of my young life, I just live on my own, playing computer games, or just hanging out with my family, my sister, and that's about it. So it's just that when I started studying overseas, I got to meet a lot of people, and I think deep inside I'm more like an extrovert, I would say, and I enjoy interacting with people. So with the whole COVID-19 thing, I don't know how you guys cope with it. I find it a little bit challenging, because sometimes I do, for example, go to a bar, or with my friends, go to a club with my friends just to hang out and all, just have a good time and so on. But now you can't. So that is always a challenge when it comes to from a social aspect of it. I think that part really impacted me a lot. Can I work from home? Yeah, I can. I mean, I work in a job whereby I don't necessarily have to go to the office. I can use my computer. But that also added another extra kind of challenge for me. Well, it's a first world problem, I guess. I still have a job. The challenge is that usually, even after a hard day at work, always stay in the office. So once I leave the office, I take a walk near the marina and have some fresh air. Sometimes just hang out in a bar with my friends, and you got to decompress a little bit. The challenge right now is that you can't decompress anymore. Is because everything is so like locked up in this place. I'm 24/7 with my wife right now. I'm not sure how you guys cope with that. I'm pretty alright. I'm pretty like low maintenance when it comes to like a relationship kind of thing. I don't necessarily need to see the person a lot, or if I do see the person a lot, it doesn't really bother me. But I don't know, because some of you got married and may wonder like, hey, I didn't sign up for 24/7 with my spouse. Well, when you retire, you do, but it could be rather challenging for a lot of people as well. Probably not quite used to the fact that you spend so much time with the spouse on a day-to-day basis. So that is that I found it. I'm alright with that. I really I'm agnostic to the whole seeing my wife 24/7. But I don't know about whether you guys find it a little bit challenging as well. But I think the positive takeaway I would say amid all this situation that we have is we still have each other. Both of us are healthy. Our families are healthy, and still have a job to do. Still get paid every month. So I think that is a huge blessing. I would say. Something that we shouldn't take for granted, given the situation of today, especially when for the older folks that could be easier to get infected or more vulnerable when it comes to job security or the lack of it. So consider all things. Here in Singapore is the situation is pretty alright. I would say there's been a lot of like tracing on the people whereabout, and if anyone is in contact or suspected cases, people do get like let me see. Hang on, I keep talking, but I don't know whether I'm at the right place or not. People do get contacted by the government to. Oh, look at the bridge over there on the left. People do get contacted by the government to do home quarantine and or so on and so forth. So the government has been doing pretty good job in terms of keeping people safe or at least feel safe. Yeah, feel safe as well. So that's one thing. But is this something that can be replicated in the West? Because I've been always thinking about that. It's kind of strange. From where I come from, looking at the world, the moment we heard about Wuhan virus, which now being called as the COVID-19, when it first started in China, I think a lot of people in the West now blaming China for not being open up about the virus situation and waited for like a month before they really announced it. I think it started off in December, but it's only about January or so. Then the world get to know it, and then all the blame is now on China, saying that the politician has not been forthcoming to the people or to the world. But I find it a little bit strange. I mean, I'm neutral. I'm at a country whereby I'm not affiliated with anywhere, not with China, not with the West. I'm from Singapore, right? So the way I see it is this: every country, all politician lies. I think all politician lies. If you look at the way that maybe if take a look at how the presidents or the prime minister of various country, how they talk about the COVID-19 when it first started to spread. I think a lot of people do lie in the leaders wise. They do try not to send the whole people into panic or destroy the stock market or whatever agenda they have. They all lie, politicians, regardless of geographies. Then of course there are countries that are more prepared. Countries like Taiwan, countries like Hong Kong, and Hong Kong is within China now. Countries like Singapore, the moment we heard about it in January or December, we already start the operation of it, how to execute certain kind of like procedure to flatten the curve. So that is already way ahead. But the way I see, even if China was to be forthcoming with the virus started in Wuhan, I'm pretty sure the West will also base all the time that they could have used to get prepared. I mean, if you think about it, the situation in China started off in this December, and it's only like March when it reached the United States when it become like really, really terrible. Now there are like close to 3 months that you could, the government, wherever government there could have done something about it, but there wasn't any. So I think that's my point. Is it's a true test to the preparedness
right,
of the
and then exit
of the
right.
country. It's a true test to the healthcare systems and
right.
and how well the government is able to react to all these things. And politician being politician is always they're going to lie. They're going to tell you a story whereby with their agenda. So it is really down to the country
right.
itself whether or not there are there's some processes in place whereby the country still can survive with terrible leaders sometimes. Leaders are chosen by the people, but sometimes people may not be the best to make decisions. Perhaps, I don't know. It's kind of strange. But I think back to Singapore is that I don't think a lot of what
straight
we
on.
do can be replicated elsewhere. The reality is that we, you know, I think people in the West probably respect a lot on privacy and all. I personally do. I was born in Hong Kong, but the reality is that here in Singapore, there's no such thing as privacy. The government can't like monitor or look into our life, whichever the way they want. It's just part of the fabric of the country. Do I agree to it or not? I mean that view
Go
is
straight on.
never kind of important, because how I think is seldom matter sometimes. But in times like this, when there is a fair bit of like intrusion to our privacy, I would say, because they will have to trace you where you have been in the past, say 2 weeks. Say if someone were to be tested positive, they would the government would look into all the records and map back where have you been, who have you come into contact. I think the good thing about that is that you do get to trace, you do get to know where are the clusters and so on. The downside of it is that, of course, a lot of us, some of us may feel very violated because of all this privacy. You got to tell everybody where you've been to, in a very, very deep detail, who you've been to, whom you are with, for how long, kind of thing. There are also an app that you could install called Trace Together here in Singapore, that you could, you turn on the Bluetooth, and if you are in the proximity of someone for a prolonged period of time, the app know about it as well. Now they don't know who is who, but what they do is that they know the phone number that's tagged to a certain user ID. So they don't know where you are, but they do know who you are in contact with. Now, why would anybody want to install that? I mean, I've installed it as well. Is to the government will notify you if you come into contact of someone that is being suspected to have COVID-19. So how it works is that the government will not take your data. Your data still stay with the phone. But once a person is being tested positive, the government would then ask you to upload your data. Your data has no location. It's just to tell the government what are the potential people that you are in touch with during the last 2 weeks, and then they will contact the rest of the people through the phone number. That's a bit. I mean, I wouldn't know the people's phone number, or my app is how it works. I think is that the app capture all the user IDs. You don't know who the user ID is for. Only the government know that the user ID is tagged to a certain kind of mobile number, and they will do the tracing from there. So that's one thing that we do. To make that happen, of course, everybody has to install the app. So the people always ask, like, what is it in for me? Especially when the app can't eat up battery. Well, what is in for you is that you get to kind of notified if you are in contact with someone. And I think that is important for anybody's health to understand or know. So yeah, I mean, that's about it. I'm stuck with a very, very slow moving vehicle because I'm only pulling 2 ton. This guy may be pulling 20 ton and kind of thing. I could have overtaken this truck, but it's a double yellow line, and also I can turn off my wind wiper. Why am I still having it on? Now, if I see there's no car on the side, I may attempt overtake. How about now? Done? Okay. So yeah, I mean, back to the whole COVID-19 situation is that I mean, we do trust our government in implementing the best kind of like policy relative to the situation. So we were the first country among the first country in in Asia at least, that close border with China. I think back then when that happened, a lot of people were like, are you sure about it? How sometimes the West, initially the leader talk about COVID-19 and said, well, this is just another flu kind of thing. And so when the Singapore government closed border with China, and knowing that China actually one of our major partners in trading, as well as the tourism as well. There's a lot of Chinese tourists. A lot of money come from them as well. We know the economy is going to take a big hit, but it's something that I think we are willing to sacrifice a short-term kind of profits with a more long-term kind of view, just protecting the citizen. I mean, how much do you think their life worth?
Keep right.
I mean, sometimes if you think about the problem with some of the West, policies, that they found that, well, the cure cannot be worse than the problem. In a way, I mean, I mean, when it comes to life itself, it's very hard to make the call. I think you have to trust a leader whereby they do have a really strong kind of sense of value and integrity to make the kind of decision, like whose life shall we sacrifice? Shall we sacrifice the 1% of the population for the good of the economy? Because one could argue that if all these jobs are lost, then maybe life are lost too. I don't know. People may get depressed. I don't know. But it's always a very hard choice to make, because you can't really think that way, that you could say the market may lose trillions of dollars, but all we need to do is just sacrifice 1% of the population. What does that mean, really? It's a tough decision. I'm quite happy that I don't really get to make the decision, although I do get to vote for the government that will make the right decision. But yeah, I mean, the bottom line is that I find it a little bit difficult to understand why someone would say that the cure cannot be worse than the solution when you talk about human life in general. Wouldn't you want to do your best to save people, regardless of how old or whatever you are, and this particular virus, regardless of age. I mean, of course, the older folks are more at risk, but it doesn't make the younger people also immune to it, right? So it's a very strange kind of situation whereby you try to value people's life in terms of the economy. I mean, I always feel that economy can always grow back. I mean, a lot of country lost a lot of money in many things. Like I came from Hong Kong. I always have this mentality with my family whereby we can lose our money and we just start from ground again and work hard to earn a living from then on, because we always have to move forward, right? That's what human beings do. But to make the decision saying that some life will have to be sacrificed because we just can't have the solution
keep left and then turn
worse
left.
than the problem. I find it, I don't know, in general I just find it a bit hard to understand why would anybody want to do that as a leader.
Left.
But then again, like I say, I mean, I don't run a country, so I don't know. Maybe there is a real reason why it's okay to sacrifice 1 to 5 to 10% of the population for whatever reason it is. But I wouldn't do that. It's just not the right thing to do. But anyway, so now back to Singapore is that we just recently we will be implementing. I wouldn't say lockdown. They call it circuit breaker, whatever it is. So there's some shops still be open, essential services. And if you think about essential services, I always wonder what are the essential services are. I think I may have a problem because I do need to have my hair cut every 3 weeks, and I think hair salon is not essential service. and it will get locked down by 1 month.
Go straight
All
up.
the non-essential kind of like services. So what are the essential services? Like grocery store, like the restaurants or food establishment, whereby they'll open for you to take away, not sit in. I believe of course, clinic, hospital, they are all essential services. Some of the banking facilities, these are all essential services. So those will still continue to serve customer, but the rest of the businesses are just they just shut down for 1 month. And now that I'm more thinking about it, because my wife was asking me, should I be doing? She's asking, should I be doing facial? Because I think for girls, for women, facial kind of like beauty kind of thing is rather essential. I mean, who am I to judge? But
Go straight on.
but I said, I mean, it's up to you. But then, also bear in mind that the person tendering your face will also meet quite a lot of people in more than 15 minutes. I think this whole virus thing here is that the longer you interact with someone, the higher chance you get infected with it. Some people would have no symptom anyway, so it get more tricky to say. But I say, well, it's up to you. It's your decision. I'm not here to run anybody's life. But then I think she thought about it and feel that it's probably not worth it, the kind of risk that you have. So now I think back to my problem. I think Singapore is going to shut down in next Tuesday for 1 month. So my hair is going to look really terrible. But the good thing is that I'm working from home. So maybe now is a time when I grow some long hair, maybe. So you'll see in this channel that my hair getting longer and longer until I'm barely a kind of like recognizable, I would say. But I don't know. I mean, I think the more I think about it, then I was thinking that what about some of the shops that I don't really do a lot of shoppings, but I do buy stuff, I would say. Yeah, I mean, I do buy coffee like Nespresso, so that was the next thing that was on my mind. But I think some of them has online as well. I wanted to buy some I was thinking whether I should tune my guitar, because I've got a Les Paul Gibson Les Paul, the black color called Deluxe. It's a very nice guitar. Not that I'm a very good guitar player, but I'm a songwriter, so I have one. And recently I watched this group on YouTube, and it's a girl band called the Warning, and I really think that you guys should take a look at their music. I mean, if you like rock music, these are the real deal. I mean, they are three sisters. They started off very, very young, and they're still very, very young. They are like 18, 16, and 13. So 18 years old is the lead guitarist and vocalist. The drummer is the 16 years old, and she can sing and play piano as well. And the bassist is like 13 years old. They are really talented from Mexico. You should check out their video. It's called The Warning. They play Metallica. They play like Guns N' Roses. They play like Creep from Radiohead. So they play a lot of things, cover, but they do original music as well. So I watched some of the original music, and the drummer can sing while she drums, and she can really drum. So do check it out if you have time. I do that. Yeah. So where was I? Why am I talking about YouTube? I don't know, because I do spend quite a fair bit of time playing video games these days, and I try to make some video for you guys as and when I can. And I play. You guys know that I play most of my time. I play ARPG, Path of Exile, Diablo 3, Green Dawn, the Diablo 2 kind of like Reign of Terror mod for Green Dawn. I also play like Torchlight 3 Alpha as well. It is pretty decent, but it's pretty interesting, I would say. And I just overall love ARPG, but I also love other games. Like this game here, I do play sometimes, but it's just that because my channel is not really a trucking channel. So if I know that there are a lot of successful channels out there, that do trucking video, but they focus on trucking and they focus on mods. I don't necessarily like to play this game with the mods. I just enjoy the vanilla kind of experience. So with that said, I just kind of like record it once in a while. I know some of you follow my channel because of the trucking videos I've made. And from time to time when there is an event, there is a new expansion, there is like a new DLC, paint job, whatever, I'll try to do a video for you guys. That's what I do like right now. Truck at home hashtag. That is the video I'm making. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to, like, you know, sometimes I do play other games that I discover, not full time, just probably I play a while and then I've stopped for a while kind of thing. Like the Opus Magnum, that was a really good game. Jurassic Park was really good as well. The problem with the Jurassic Park is that because they use the movie kind of music, and if I have that recorded, then I run into copyright issue. That's about it. And that one was a pretty interesting game. Wow, this truck in front is, I'm running into a little bit of traffic here, so this thing is going to take a while. So yeah, back to the lockdown is that the COVID-19 lockdown in Singapore, well, not lockdown in Singapore, it's not lockdown. We can still go out. We just advise not to hang out too long. But anyway, all the shops are closed anyway, so there's not much reason to go out. I don't know how they're going to enforce it. They were saying something like if you go out, just keep it to a very short time, like half an hour or whatnot. So I don't know how they're going to like monitor that. But knowing Singapore, we'll find a way to monitor people, I guess. Maybe they use some new tracer. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, look, essential services. So I was saying that I don't really do a lot of like shopping. I mean, a lot of things I buy online anyway. Like books, I can always get online. I mean, I really don't do a lot of like Whoa, look at that. Look at that on the ground, on the right hand side. What the hell is that? Oh, that's interesting. Or there's some road work or some repair job maybe. Yeah. But it'll be interesting 1 month, and we'll see what will happen. I hope it'll be fine. I've got a call coming in. Hang on. I need to just mute my thing here.
Go straight on.
All right, sorry about that. Back online a bit, it's crazy. Guess what? My my hairdresser just called me. That was just funny. I was just talking about, my haircut in the in the part of the video just now, and after that, the hairdresser actually called me up and asked me if I would like to come in for haircuts before my schedule. Because I usually arrange a monthly kind of like a recurrent appointment with my hairdresser, and she would like they always like see her on a Saturday, 6 p.m. and kind of thing, and then and that's like our regular kind of appointment for decades, right? So she called me up and said that because of the Singapore lockdown, or this partial lockdown they call it, and asking me if I'm alright to come in, tomorrow instead. So I said, yeah, I mean that's fine. So they are trying to implement something here, and they're trying to keep the business open. So according to her, they will need to open the. They can have haircut, but they cannot wash the hair. I don't know how it's going to work, because I don't know why you can have haircut but you cannot wash your hair. So I think they're trying to get around it, because like I said, I mean haircut is, I don't know whether haircut is an essential service or not, but I think they're trying to do is just to get by the rule, and it's kind of strange when they're trying to do that. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of overtaking right now when I was just answering call, and one hand it's not easy to do one hand driving here. It's almost impossible. So I'm using a controller, which is the PS4 controller, and if I can't, like, yeah. So yeah, just now you saw it was a little bit dangerous driving. Moral of the story is that you should always keep your hands on the wheel and don't get distracted with phone call and all. Whether it's a simulation or what, is always dangerous to bypass. It can always dangerous to get distracted while driving. And certainly you shouldn't drink, of course. I was thinking whether I should, like, because I've got some beer in the fridge, and on the weekend, today is a Saturday.
Get ready to turn right.
Usually I'll just pop a wine or have some beer and all, especially now that I cannot
turn right.
like hang out with my friends. Then it become more important for me to be able to sometimes just have a drink right at home. So I've got some beer at home and at the fridge, and I was thinking whether I should enjoy some beer while I'm trucking, but I think it's a little bit not responsible, because it doesn't fit the theme of trucking, and no one truck while having a beer, right? So yeah, that is that's my thoughts. Yeah, and yeah. Anyway, so I'm still having a very long way to go. I mean, this is going to take a while. I hope it's been kind of entertaining so far. This is going to be a very, very long journey or video. I mean, you are talking about 2,500 kilometer, and this is going to be a rather long one. But I'll get it one shot. I mean, imagine just one event I get it done. That is pretty fascinating. And from a community perspective, I think there is a target as well. I think 2 million kilometer. I can't remember how many of them. But knowing the trucking community, people usually just can just clock the number in quite fast. So yeah, I mean, I'm not too concerned about the number. I'm just yeah, I just want to get it done. My personal goal at least. And I don't know where I am right now. Actually, where am I? Is it Utah already? Could be. I don't know. I hope you kind of enjoy the scenery as well. Different part of it. A little bit of dark. Kind of it was quite dark initially. My apologies. But I don't know. Sometimes people do want to see a little bit of different kind of time zone, I would say, or timing, to make it a little bit different from video to video, right? Because otherwise you see only daylight, but in reality you do drive at night as well. And I think a lot of trucking are being done during the night time. Last time I was in Europe, I think I was working in Paris. There's a lot of truck that will come out at night instead of trucking in the daytime. I think just to avoid the crowd or not to slow down traffic and all. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, it's a nice drive. Certainly, I have always wanted to take a very long drive. Like, yeah, well, how nice if I can truck from one end of the American map to another end of the American map. But then in the past there was no incentive because they always track your progress by the journey, by the trip itself. So it doesn't matter how far you do it. You just need to, like, for example, get to 20 different destinations, and you normally wouldn't want to overdo it a lot, like long distance. But I really like this event because this is the first event whereby I'm incentivized to do a really, 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 really long trucking thing. If you were to do the European version, man, can you imagine all the way from, say, I think you can do a France, if I'm not wrong. From France all the way to Russia, I think it's rather interesting. That would be a really interesting drive, I would say. So I was thinking between the American version and the European version. I was just thinking maybe I should do European one because I'm not that familiar with the European map. But I mean, I haven't played as much European version as compared to the American version. I don't know why. I kind of really like the American version. It's just one of those things. And yeah, I really like the American version. It's a little bit special place on my heart. I think it has something to do with the fact that I started the American version from the very first base game when it started off with just two states, California and Nevada. I think can't remember what was two of them. I can't remember. Is it Nevada, the one that has Las Vegas? But anyway, so that was the first game I bought from this ATS software company. I think the Euro Truck Simulator 2 has always been a big hit. I got that too, but when I bought it together with the expansion. I don't really see the growth of the game because I just bought it in one big car map. But of course, by now the map getting even bigger with the Italy, with the France, with the Russia, with the Baltic Sea and all. So yeah, I mean, certainly there's a lot of addition to it. But the American version, I've seen the organic growth of it when it first started, small, just 2 states plus 1 free state, and after that they decided to, this experiment seems to work out, so they scale up the map to much bigger, and yeah, I mean, then they become the game as of today. You see so many kind of DLC coming. I think they announced 2 more DLC at least for the American version. So keen to see what's going to happen, how it's going to look like, and so on. All right. So now I've trucked for more than 50 minutes right now, according to my recording software. It's still a very, very long way to go. I'm still quite well. I really wish that I have a can of beer right now with me, and I will definitely pop one at the end of this recording. I'm not entirely sure if YouTube allow me to upload this video of the original length. I'll see how that go. Why this guy is going so slow? Whoa, nice. Yeah, that was nice. I always enjoy that. Wow, look at that. Nice. So now, I think back to the whole COVID-19 thing here. It's kind of interesting. I was talking to my back then when it first started, last year actually, December, I remember, and a few of us friends at the office, we did talk about it, and I was saying that, well, look guys, man, knowing how this one works, because I was just thinking that first of all, this virus can transmit even without symptom, and the fact that you can't detect it, and looking at the SARS back then, when it affected Singapore, and Singapore wasn't that prepared back then, it lasted at least half a year. So knowing these things, and this thing's going to spread like really across the globe, and back then in December I already said to my friends, like, this thing's going to last until like end of 2020 at least, which I think I'm right. I hate to be right, in this case, but it is this one is going to last
Get
for a
ready
while.
to turn left.
This one is going to last for a while. So yeah. Yeah, I think another question is that will we ever be returned to the normalcy, or this whole new norm become like
Turn left.
like this whole experience become a new norm? I don't know. I always been fascinated by how all this event or world event will eventually affect this social kind of like behavior of it. Will people be more like, how is it like in Japan or in Korea? What if someone is sick, they wear a mask, go to work or whatever. Nothing to do with COVID-19. It's just that it's just how they stop how they minimize the transmission of flu, right? Because if you are
Get ready
not
to
well,
turn right.
then you wear a mask or stay at home. But here in this part of the world, at least, it's not that common. But I think that
Turn right.
I think that with this whole COVID-19 thing, people will become more considerate when it comes to, like, if someone is sick, I think they would be more considerate, and they will wear a mask or just stay at home. Yeah, so that's one. I think that is a positive outcome of it. Another thing is that, and this is quite an interesting
ready
topic as
to turn
well. Hang on a second, where am I? I think that a lot
Turn
of
left.
jobs currently onshore may get changed into offshore. Now, why I say that is that this is a very interesting period of time whereby you can really see that cross geography or different location can work quite well. People are adapting to it. They are video conferencing. They do all these like things that you could bond with people on the video call and all. And if you can run all this work from home, like if everybody can work from home, what is the real need to have all the jobs within one country? You can actually run the job quite effectively across different countries. I think this one would then put all the infrastructure into a different level, whereby the whole collaboration online become even more a reality. So if that's the case, well, I'm just a little bit worried about that in Singapore, because we already outsource a lot of work to other countries, and with this kind of COVID-19, people will start to get used to the fact that the people are not going to be face to face anymore. So just get used to it, and I think that's going to happen is more jobs will be moved out of the country, I would say, for some countries at least. And because we found new ways to collaborate without having to be on the same location or same office anymore. So that is my another kind of prediction or whatever. The overall impact of it. But another thing positive, I don't know whether you guys noticed that or not, I kind of feel that, and I may be right as well, I feel that the sky is bluer these days. And the reality is that when you have lesser traffic on the road, when you have lesser kind of all this transmission or pollution and all, I think the sky does get a little bit bluer. And I think for some country like India or China, they are seeing the difference between the pre-COVID-19 kind of era to now COVID-19 era, whereby there are just not so many cars on the road, and there's just not too much pollutants in the air. The air become cleaner, the sky become bluer, and it may not be that bad. It's kind of funny if you look into like some of these Western country whereby the wild animal like goat start to roam the town or city because there's no cars. People, the animals just come up to the area they like to go out. So there's quite a interesting kind of things around it, and the fact that if we don't get to spend time with the restaurants and all, if everybody just cook their own food and all, I think even if you look at the food wastage kind of situation, I always feel that the food business kind of in general, I think may not be the most efficient use of food. Sometimes there could be a lot of waste there. Maybe food that's over order, or just people don't finish their food and all. But I think another positive outcome, I would say that possibly it kind of like bring our consumption back to a level whereby it kind of make more sense that the planet can sustain. Because you don't have that many people. I don't even get salmon these days. I don't know about your countries. I used to have quite a lot of salmons in this area. Well, not the fish, but the food itself. And these days when I go to the supermarket, unless I kind of like at the right timing when they put the salmon pieces out into the shelf, I don't really get to get it, buy it. And I think in a way, maybe the lockdown, maybe people just don't go out and fish anymore, or no one work and so on. Oh, there's an incident. Whoa, look at that, man. That was an accident. Whoa, that was quite bad. What on earth? So I think there's the whole COVID-19 possibly has some pretty good kind of like positive impact to the community. And another thing that I noticed, I don't know whether you guys in your country you can relate or not. In Singapore, in a very strange way, Singapore water is actually pretty clean from the tap. We do have pretty clean water, but for some reason, Singaporeans love to drink bottled water, which is not as clean as tap water, to be honest. But that's what Singaporeans do. They go out, they get they don't bring their flasks like sometimes when my wife go out, when she feels thirsty, and even when I go out, I'll bring a flask to fill up water so I can drink water while I'm outside. But a lot of Singaporeans, because come on, it's just $1 or $2, just get a bottle and then after throw away the plastic away. And I feel that if you don't get to go out and you don't get to consume all this plastic, you don't use all this container at all. Like the movie, another good example. People go movie, they just get the water and it's all plastic, kind of like a bottle. You don't have that. I mean, all the cinemas are closed anyway. So I thought in a sense it could be rather positive impact to the to the environment. In a way, it seems like I know it's a kind of strange thing to say, but it's still COVID-19 is the Mother Nature's way to just reset our consumerism kind of level, to force us to go easy onto the environment, be as the air quality that we keep polluting, be as the all the plastic that we use and dump onto the water or whatever, so on. So I think in a way it reduces our consumerism. We don't consume that much, and just bring it back to another level that is more sustainable to the planet, I think. And with that said, I mean, but having said that, the problem is that our whole economic is built upon the consumerism, and we are encouraged to spend future money in the sense that we borrow and we consume more than we need so as to power the current economy and to make more money. So I think somewhere somehow it's a little bit broken, but who am I to judge? Again, back to the whole government thingy, policy thing. I don't get to choose. I don't lead a country. But all these are just something that I observe, and there's been a traffic jam in front, I think. I don't know why. Alright, more good scenery, and I need to slow down a little bit. Okay. Well, I still have 14 hours to go, and this is going to be a while. I'm going to get some water. But water is on that side. Now I need to do it without knocking down all this. Like, there's a mic in front of me, and there's a little cable here, and I don't want to drip the water everywhere. I'm doing it single-handedly, so I am maybe after the ban and so on. Yeah, lovely scenery though, by the way. Really good. Yeah, I'm doing single-handedly right now. Hang on a second. I think soon I can grab my mug of water that I really need. I've been talking non-stop for 1 hour. But it's just so many topics, and it's kind of, I like this sort of video because it's very relaxing. I don't really need to think too hard, unlike I'm playing some of this like ARPG that I need to think like every second I need to make a decision. This one is just driving. It's a bit of like second nature. So I got to talk a lot about the random topic that I like to talk about and cover as well. And I think after this I could, it's 4 p.m. right now. It's almost like, well, it's not 24 hours yet, but 8 more hours it will be. Cool. I don't know, sometimes this car just goes suddenly fast and suddenly slow. It's very hard to understand them. The AI is a little bit strange. Alright. Yeah, so back to the whole COVID-19 thing. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what kind of business that would new business idea that was spawned off because of this. Because there's every situation like this, there are always opportunities, and I think those that adapt to it, like more online-ish kind of thing, would be a more advantage, I would say. And okay, now I can have my water. Okay. So far so good. I really need a signal. Alright, there you go. Alright, cool. Still a long way to go, another 13 more hours to reach the destination. I can't remember what was the starting point. So it could well be another hour of trucking. I don't know. My hands are a little bit cramped right now. What time is it? Right now, what time is it? Let me see. Ooh, sorry guys. I was trying to see what time it is. Yeah, the car was 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock right now. Well, unfortunately, I have to wait until all these cars pass first. Oh wow, there are some people that will give way to me. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Okay, inspection.
Never mind. I'll find a new route.
The navigator is very strange sometimes. She doesn't seem to be pleased that I'm here. Okay, have a safe journey. So that's it. Yeah, this is I think I can go a bit faster. Yep, there you go. Yeah, I just forced my way in. Look at the right hand side. It's all like a river and water. It looks pretty. Yeah, it looks really pretty. My oil tank is, my gas tank is about half empty, or half full, how you see it. So I think at some point I need to put some gas into the tank. And yeah. Oh yeah, another thing about the COVID-19 situation is that I don't know how you guys in your country manage the traffic. In here in Singapore, we implement a lot of tolls, and the tolls can be very expensive as well. So the because of the COVID-19 situation, there aren't really a lot of like traffic around, and suddenly all the tolls they're going to be free of charge, and I'm quite excited to see the I don't know. I mean, I feel really locked up at home, but I think I'm alright to drive around. So maybe it's good to take a nice drive through some countryside, although there aren't really countryside in Singapore. But I was thinking of hiking because like there aren't really, you don't really see that many people doing hiking. I mean, although you still see some people because Singapore is kind of tiny. There's no like, it's not like Australia whereby you get to go to a national park and you hardly see anybody for the whole half a day. I mean, that's what happened when my wife and I visited Australia. We loved the national parks there, or even America as well. And we found that there are more wildlife, put it this way, than people when you go to all these hiking trails. But here in Singapore, the hiking trail is still quite kind of like, it's not packed, I would say. You still see people on either side of direction. Now, I don't know, with the lockdown, am I allowed to do that? Because I think you have to keep your, well, not lockdown, with the partial lockdown. I'm not sure whether I'm allowed to do that or not, to exercise outdoor, to just do a hiking. I think they limit to half an hour, I can't remember. So I don't know, we'll see. But I actually wanted to take a drive out somewhere to some remote island of Singapore. Yeah, I know. There are actually some, you need to take a boat trip to Ubin Island. So some places whereby I can just like rent a bike or whatever that can just bike around. I don't know, but I think all these are closed. I mean, even the parks are closed. Yeah, think about it. I think in America, I can't remember, some of the parks are closed, so you can't go there anymore. I think they discourage people from going outside mixing, but yeah, it's going to suck. So in the end, well, it could be just a nice drive in a real world, not just truck at home. Something that yeah, I mean, maybe it's good to now that there's no toll at all. Well, soon, I think next week. Then I could just drive around, I guess. Just take a nice drive into places. I don't know. I'll have a thought around it and see. Okay, still quite a long way to go, and 12 more hours. But what about you? I'm thinking, how does your country cope with it? Do you guys experience some kind of lockdown, and how is it affecting your life right now? I'm interested to know. As always, put a comment below, and I'm always enjoy interacting with you all over the comment section in YouTube. You know that. So yeah, let me know how is it affecting your life right now. I think a lot of you are. I know a lot of my friends on Steam. They are rather happy and just stay at home, play computer games. And I've got this friend of mine. I can't tell you who, but because I just can't pronounce the name in full. Who have been like sending me free games and for me to play. Because on Steam there's actually quite a lot of free games, and let me see, no, not this one. On Steam there's a lot of free games, and the also has been sending a lot of free games for me to play. But the reality is that keep left. The reality is that with all the games that we have in say on Steam or Epic Game as well. I mean, I haven't really played the game yet, but I've been collecting I've been collecting the free games and the.
Keep left.
Oh no! Oh man! Sorry guys. It was so like realistic. I was distracted by whether it was a truck there or not, but there was a band. So let's see how damaged is it. Well, the good news is that my cargo is not damaged. My truck is kind of damaged, but I think 2% is from the wheel anyway, because I've been trucking for a while. So 2% damage on the truck and the 2% on the trailer itself. But the cargo itself is 0% damage, so I think it's not going to affect my experience. I hope. I don't know. Oh man, it's going to suck. Usually I have quite a good reputation when it comes to trucking, but I was just kind of distracted. See? Ooh, I'm distracted again. Don't get distracted. Look at the road. Okay, Salt Lake District, City. Yeah, I think I jumped a bit. Sorry, guys. That was really terrible of me. Well, it does happen. It's a long distance. I hope it's just like the truck itself that is damaged, not the cargo. Yeah, I just hope that we'll see. I mean, it's not something that is I can change anyway. Can I go back in time? The another thing about external contract is that it's all like online kind of thing, and they record your progress. You can't go back in time and say that I want to erase that incident. You can't. All right, so just be careful from now on. Alright, this it's getting dark as well. I may dash into after it's sunset. I may dash into one of the rest station, get my gas up, and then after that do I'm going to
and
just rest
right.
and get the get the daytime
right.
instead. A bit of concentration here. Wow, look at that. But I can repair my truck over there. See a map there? Yeah. Alright, there's a gas station in front actually. Maybe I should do that.
Go straight on.
It depends on whether a station is friendly to use or not, because some of the station could be quite tiny, and the yeah, let's see. Oop. But I think I missed it. All right, cool. What's the next topic? Now my wife and I usually travel, and to some location at least once a year. And initially we wanted to take a holiday in the month of April, which is coming up. And quite happy that we didn't book any holiday, because in retrospect that was probably one of the most inspired move, whereby I said, well, it doesn't seem to be, although we booked the holiday already, we booked the leave and the in April, which we of course cancelled it. I was like, well, but with the whole COVID situation, they may close border on Singapore and so on and so forth. So true enough, there's a lot of travel restriction and all. So initially we wanted to visit, I think, Japan this year. I think that was or New Zealand, so one of those places. But then now not now, but I think a month ago, if you were to visit New Zealand, you will have to stay in indoor or self-quarantine for 2 weeks, and by then your holiday is gone, you can't even go anywhere. So the rather happy that we didn't book the holiday, although we have applied for leave and we cancel our leave subsequently. But I think one thing that I probably miss is the traveling bit of it, because I've done a fair bit of traveling in the past, and it's always trying to go to some places that we have not been to, or have not been to for a long time. So we do that. I'm trying to recall where was the last location we've been to. I think Jakarta, Indonesia was the last location we've been to. So it would be interesting, I guess, if we can travel again in near future. But I think it's going to be 2021. And then by then, I think the economy will be so shitty that you just want to save all the money you've got. Try not to use it for anything else. By the way, the scenery on the left-hand side is really beautiful. Just there's pity that it's sun setting, so you can't really see the scenery. But yeah, this part of I believe it's Utah already. It's very beautiful. See on the left hand side, you see all these little kind of factory on the left hand side of it.
Keep right.
You see this side? Nice, huh? Another weighing station. There's a 50-50 chance I need to go in. I can bypass now. Great. Now why don't this truck go in there? Okay, price is in front. Can't remember where it is though. Wow. I don't know why he brakes so hard. Okay, nice. Gas station, rest station as well. I can go in there. Oh, but it's a bit of detour. Maybe worthwhile though, because now it's getting dark.
Okay.
Let's get a rest here.
Find a new route. Go straight on.
So I had some truck coming in. This side is fine. So I think after the truck we'll go.
Never mind. I'll find a new route. Keep right. Keep right, and then turn right.
Okay, let's see. Okay, here will be fine.
Turn right.
Yep, I'm going to rest inside. I haven't been here before anyway. Interested to see this gas station. Oh, I can go already.
Reroute.
I think he must be quite angry with me. Hang on a second. How do I get in there? Oh. Uh-oh. I think I'm going to go through the... Is it the right way? I think it's fine. Alright, so this is going to cost me a fair bit, but I think it's necessary. Okay, do the patrol and all. So yeah, when the whole situation subsides, do I want to travel next year, 2021? Would be a question, because I think this virus situation is going to go on for a while. You need all the country to cooperate and so as to beat the virus, I would say. If any country that are not doing the work, then there'll be an epic center. Ooh, nice. Then there'll be an epic center. Then it'll still spread to everybody else. So yeah, it'll be a while before all the country kind of wake up to it and say, yeah, that's my problem too. So okay, let's see. But say if the situation become more manageable next year, 2021, where would I want to go to travel or to visit? I think maybe, I don't know, Japan, I guess. I still would like to. I have not been to Japan yet. I know a lot of people actually been there, especially in my part of the world. How do I get out from here? Okay, there you go. Why I have to go this way? Maybe I just follow this guy there.
Keep right.
Yeah, so Japan would be, and I also want to pick up my hobby again, which is photography. Some of you know from my YouTube channel, whenever I visit another country, I always showcase to you some of the picture that I've taken. And I still have my new camera, which is the Z6 Nikon, that's sitting in my dry cabinet, collecting dust, I would say.
Turn left.
Yeah, so it'd be nice if I could spend some time doing some photography. But yeah, we'll see. I actually wanted to buy some new lens as well, to go along with it, because I could use the old ones, and I can. But just that these days I'm very much into the fixed lens. So I don't do zoom these days, and it's good. I like it. I like the fixed lens. The clarity is beautiful. The color is beautiful as well. Okay, let's stick my head out. You guys have to let me pass. So yeah, and I've been waiting for a wide lens for the fixed lens, but unfortunately, the lowest they can get is 20mm for the Z mounts. Now 20mm is it wide enough? I mean, it's wider than my zoom, because my zoom is 2470. So 20 is kind of nice, but then sometimes when I use 24, I found that it's still a little bit too. It's not wide enough. If I like the landscape kind of shots. So I've been wanting to do something that is for full frame, of course. That is a bit wider. But unfortunately, the Z lens, they only do like 20 the most. If they do a zoom lens, you can do a 14 to 24, I think. And 14 is nice. I mean, 14 you can see like really a lot of details. And there's something that I would love to give it a shot. Like if I get that. The only thing is that you know, my friend told me that 14 to 30, I can't remember. I think 14 to 30, if I'm not wrong. It's a rather miracle to make that lens without the whole big kind of like glass, like a bubble in front. So because of Z mount, with the new technology, they are able to fit that into the chamber without the big kind of like lens, like a fisheye lens on
Keep
top.
left.
So I thought about it, but I really against the idea of using a zoom lens. And if I want to do zoom, I may as well use my F mount, because I do have a Z to F mount converter, and I've used that. And I'm testing it as well, because I still have my 24 to 70 and 70 to 200. So sometimes I do want to take a long shot and zoom into like 200 of it, but yeah, I use the mount, but somehow it doesn't give me the kind of clarity. I don't know, is it because of the converter? When I convert from F to Z, then with the extra glasses, does it mean that it become less clear? Maybe. I mean, the more elements you have in a lens, the more blur it is, or the less clarity it is. I mean, just science, right? So I'm still testing it and see whether I like it or not. But I really like the 35mm I got for my Z6 Nikon, and the color is so rich, and the clarity is so beautiful. So yeah, I mean, if I could go overseas again, and I'd love to take some of these lens to do some picture and so on. And I'm also tempted by the 90 or 85mm as well. It's a great one for portrait. But the problem with the Z lens is that it's really expensive. It's just very, very expensive. It's just so expensive, the Z lens. For good reason, of course. It's a new technology and all. But really, the price level is just too high. And also, there's a reason why I don't do a zoom anymore, because I do have the old lens, which is the 24-70 and 70-200, which are zoom. So in view of that, yeah, I mean, I'm still thinking, and I'm looking at the roadmap, but it doesn't seem that they'll be doing any wide lens soon. So I may end up buying a 20mm. Just to get a wider view. Yeah, because the 35 is alright. If I take a picture of my wife, I just make sure that I put her in the center, not the side of it. But 35mm is alright. I'm fine with that. And I like the angle, especially if I go to city view. 35mm is more like a street cam for street photography. This is really slow. Yeah, it's more the street photography. So when can I overtake all these things? Now I'm going to overtake all these things. The car in front keep going in and out. Look at that, it's so cute. I don't know, he can't make up his mind. Well, maybe he's not wrong, because this side get blocked as well. Oh my goodness, what on earth, man. You guys have to move it for me. I really can't do this one. Come on, guys. This is going to take a while. Oh, by the way, this Lone Star International, one of the newer truck they've added into the game. I think there's another new truck coming into the American version, but don't quote me. I think there's a new truck coming. Man, this is so slow. I wish I could like drive one of those small cars instead.
Exit.
Yeah,
right.
Imagine if this game become like with all this COVID-19, people are buying things online, and we have Grab. I don't know in your
Turn
country what
right.
you have, maybe Uber or whatever it is. You can actually like order food by all these cars and so on. And I think it's rather easy to turn this game into like a food delivery business or just any delivery business, because you can drive a private car to deliver all this content as well, which I think will be quite interesting. I'm quite interested to play that if I could like take passenger or deliver food. But usually I don't think they will do a long distance. I mean, you won't order something across another state. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a lousy idea. Maybe just a town kind of thing. Just go a bit like a bit of like a town kind of visit kind of thing. Quite fun. Okay, so this is maybe Utah or wherever it is, or maybe New Mexico. Ooh, I love all these bands. Alright, and 45 here. I want to see whether I can open up the curtain
Go
a little
straight
bit.
on.
Getting a bit dark. Go. There you go. Outside is so beautiful. The sky is so blue. Ooh, that's nice. Moab. Okay, 35, and yeah, I think getting near to town as well. Okay, lovely. Maybe in New Mexico, I do not know. Or maybe I should keep right, sorry. Whoa, this city looks pretty cool. Close to midday. Where there's a service station, service center on the left hand side. I could go in if I want. I could just stay out. I think 4% is fine. 4% I think is just tire wear plus a little bump that I've scratched my truck, I would say, on the road just now. Oh, there's a garage on the right hand side. Have I not? I may have bought it, but I've never been there yet. Yeah, because now you can buy a garage from anywhere on the map, so that's neat. Oh no, what happened? Okay, that is what happened. Now I'm stuck behind this oil truck that I presume is much slower than I am. Could have been a little bit aggressive, I guess, just now. Yeah. I think now I'm really stuck behind this truck with 7 more hours to go. I'm just thinking whether I should. Probably not. It's a very dangerous thing to do. It's the double yellow line. You can't really overtake. And the man, this is like
Keep right.
ooh, there's a hole in the rock. Hole and the rock. What the hell is that? Yeah. So since you cannot do any sightseeing in this COVID-19 situation, you can always drive a truck and see all these sceneries. Trying to sell this game to you guys. It's a great game though, by the way. For those who like driving sim, it's a pretty decent kind of like a game to play. I like it a lot. Okay, now it's my turn. I can overtake. Yeah, it's by and large very, very relaxing. You know, you do have to, of course, work your gear, work your brake and gas and so on. But you know, some of you may have played driving sim anyway. So for those who are playing driving sim, this should not be anything that is a surprise anyway. So it's not as taxing as the driving like rally game or like Formula One. It's one of the hardest driving sim I've played so far. It's hardest in terms of the technical skill of it, because when you play at Formula One, I'm not sure how many of you are into Formula One, the sport. There is a lot of technical skill required. Like the circuit has to be attacked in a certain way. You must there's a racing line. There's a specific way to work your gear and so on. And once you can attain all these things, you are pretty awesome. Yeah. So it's always a game that I enjoy. I think I enjoy the older version a bit more, because I think they make the game a bit harder and harder. And there's a problem with this this whole industry, I would say. They always assume that harder game is more popular. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Sometimes I just want to chill. So that's why some of this, like this game here, is pretty alright. The only hard part is the parking sometimes, because it depends on what kind of like cargo you are trucking, and you may end up in some really tight spot to reverse yourself into, and I hope I don't see it today. And that is the only challenge I have with this game. But by and large, this game is not tough. It's not hard, and that's why I enjoy playing. So like I said, I don't know why there are so many game developers that think that a tough game means that it's a good game. I don't know, when I play Formula One, you know, I do try to do my best, but then problem is I don't have a wheel, and without a wheel there's a limitation on how best you can articulate what you want versus your controller, for example, and it depends on your controller as well. Xbox controller versus the PS PS controller usually is better in terms of calibration, but the Xbox is usually not that great when it comes to calibration, and I found that it's always been a challenge to struggle to play all these driving sim with the controller, but that's just my problem. So when it comes to Formula One, the earlier iteration, you can do easy mode, and easy mode means that if you don't make serious mistake, you can potentially win the Formula One without being totally awesome. It doesn't require you to put in. You still need to practice. Yeah, I still like practice on the circuit and knowing that how to do a racing line and so on, when to brake and so on. You still need to do quite a fair bit of practicing, but you're not that up there. You're not like the fastest kind of like a driving sim driver. So the good thing about the Formula One, the older iteration, is that there's an easy mode, and you could win a Grand Prix. And usually I'll play a full race. So a full race is there about 2 hours at least playing. And like for me, I can truck this guy for like 2 hours anyway. So to me, it's not a big deal. But imagine that if you drive a Formula One car, you have to stay relatively error-free for 2 hours. That itself is major feat, whether you are skillful or not. So I found that on easy mode, even when it's easy mode, it's not that easy actually. It still require you to have a fair bit of meticulation, I would say, when you approach a game. So in the old day, I enjoy a lot the old F1. I could still win races. I can fight from the midfield back to the front, and so on. But like I said, after the game, make the game harder and harder.
Keep right.
And that make it a bit of I kind of lost interest a little bit, because I don't I don't really enjoy the technical or the skill aspect of it too much. I would say, yeah, I enjoy the technical bit of it, but not the skill part of it. Like you have to, and I don't have the wheel, like I said, you have to do it in a certain kind of like manner, and if not, then you won't be there and fighting for the top position and all. So, so yeah, that's the reason why I like some of the older games. Some of the older games are harder actually. The newer game become easier, and sometimes game difficulties have to make sense in a situation whereby people can learn. They can become better, but not frustrated until they decided to give up. You can always argue that people of the new generation may give up too easily. I don't know. I don't really think that. I don't generalize in that way. What I usually think about is that it can be forgiving, and but at the end of the day, it should allow the gamer himself or herself to choose a difficulty level that's appropriate for his or her enjoyment. I mean, who am I to say, whether if you look at the difficulties of this game, you could say it's a fair bit in the sense that you have to make sure you don't hit anything. Just now I did have a slight incident, but there's a bit of skill here, but it's not that difficult in a sense. And also when it comes to parking, if you really can't do parking, you could you could just not to park. You just don't get a bonus XP. That's all. That's really no big deal. Or you could just park something that's simpler or easier. Or you can see what parking is required, and you got to pick. And that is a good game design, because the decision should be with the people who plays the game to choose the difficulties of they want. So back in any game they can think of, they do have the difficulty level whereby set by the user themselves. If you look at Warcraft, for example, the first thing came to my mind. If you play raiding, and I do raid in the past, if I looking for raid LFR back in the Deathwing way, it's rather manageable. It's still not easy. You still need to work for the gear, or work for certain stats that you need to work on. The build should be quite good as well, and so on and so forth. But but you could still do it, and it's not the hardest thing. You can experience raiding without having to invest the kind of like a social requirement whereby you need to join a guild and make sure you participate, contribute, and all this nonsense. You don't have to. You can just keep up for it and read up on the mechanic. Try not to make too many mistakes that people kick you away from the group, and that's about it. Everybody pull their own weight, and still, I mean, I kind of like the kind of thing. I mean, even like Diablo 3, you can pick the difficulty level. You don't have to run that high rift all the time. You can do a bit of like easier kind of rift, and then get lesser reward. But hey, you still complete the game that you enjoy the way that you want it to be. So yeah, I mean, that is essentially what I think a good game design should be. I think so I mean, I can go example after example, and I think those games that allow people to have a different kind of have a little bit control over difficulties usually are better. I mean, I'll stick with it a little bit longer, I would say. Okay, now I am at New Mexico already, which is the last stage of it. I just need to end it in about I think probably another 20 minutes or 15 minutes I'll reach the destination, and I should reach there in no time. After I really have this urge to overtake this lorry here, because it's just blocking my way. But it's just a little bit hard with the double yellow line, and there's a reason why it's double yellow, because it's just dangerous. Alright, done. Alright, New Mexico, one of the DLC as well. If you grab it, then you got to truck some long distance like I do, from end to end, all the way from Washington State through the Oregon Nevada, then Utah. I think did I pass through Nevada? Probably I didn't. Then all the way to New Mexico, and I should be there in about just a moment's time. I'm getting a bit tired though. I mean, it's a long recording, close to 2 hours mark, and it's the longest video I've recorded in my channel so far. I probably will anticipate only a few of you that's going to watch it with me, which is fine. I hope you find this this video a little bit different from the rest of it. And for those who stick with me on this video, thank you. Listen to me talking about all the nonsense in the world. Do give me feedback. Are there any topics that I'd like me to cover as well? And I'm more than happy to do something for you guys in my channel. And especially for trucking video like this one, it's really free format. I can do anything. I can talk about anything that you guys want me to talk about. Wow, this place is like there's a scrape yard in front. It looks really industrial. Right. Nice, nice and beautiful. There's a bridge there on the left hand side, but not on the right hand side, is it? Well, it's still a bridge. Ah, look at that. Nice, huh? Almost there. Almost there. Yeah. I'm just thinking about the I don't know how you guys do for food. Like do you guys like cook at home with all this lockdown, or do you like go and buy takeaway and trying to just cope with the situation? I do a lot of cooking at home. That's what we do. But recently we found that it's harder to get meat here in Singapore. It's just, I think the right meat that I want to get is not quite there. And even fish is quite not really that much. So we have quite a lot of frozen fish. And so today I went to this shop that sells a lot of frozen seafood. I couldn't get the frozen salmon. Even salmons are just not available anymore. So I do get a whole bunch of halibut. Why do I eat halibut? That's a good question. I would prefer cold fish.
And then turn right.
I would prefer. Why is this guy suddenly like so slow? I do prefer cold fish. It's very yummy, but it just the cold fish is rather expensive. So halibut is kind of fatty kind of fish. It's a little bit like
turn right.
like the cold fish. And what we do is that we bake it. We wrap it with some paper. There's some baking paper, by the way. You can't just do any paper. There's paper for baking. So we wrap it, and it's very straightforward. We just put like some ginger, like ginger on top, a bit of like salt, and a bit of like sesame oil, and that's it. I just put it into the oven. I can't remember the temperature of oven is like can't remember of it, but anyway, it is about 12 minutes or so. Then the halibut is the pieces of halibut. It's not real halibut. The whole entire fish, of course, is that would be very expensive. But the pieces of halibut would be cooked in about 12 minutes, and it's really yummy. It's of course not as yummy as like cold fish. And cold fish is still the best, but it costs less. Like costs only half of it. So yeah, that's the reason of it.
Go straight on.
Okay, straight on. Alright, man, I'm thinking about dinner already. Time now, and now it's close to sunset. Now I can see the clock. It's about 7. And it's getting dark. Soon you won't be able to see my face. Just want to warn you first. I'm just getting a very last bit of light. it's still a fair bit of trucking to go. I'm really tired right now. Really tired. You know what? Let me just do a bit of crazy stuff. I don't know whether I've turned off any traffic offense, kind of like a thing or not, but I think I may have. I don't know. Or so long as I don't get caught by a police car, I think I can go a little bit faster. No, I shouldn't actually. Let's go against the spirit of trucking. I should stay with the rules, the speed limit and all, in as much as I can. HMS, one of the vendor that you can get the they'll hand you some job as well. Right, so the Volvo is in front. Now if I go in there, of course I could service my truck. And on the right hand side is my garage. Let's check in the side mirror. Sometimes you can't really see whether you are hitting something or not. So the one day though, I mean, I may buy the tracker, the head tracker, whatever it is. So as you turn your head, your view in the game changes. So like this, right? So right now I have to use my stick. And it's a bit not that smooth. So if I could like turn my head like that, then I could look at the side mirror. Are there anything on my right hand side and so on? I could do that.
Keep right.
So
and then turn right.
So, but then it's quite expensive. That thing itself is about $200 US dollar, if I'm not wrong. Because it's not just something that is commonly used anyway.
Turn right.
Not many people buy that. I think it's mainly for driving sim.
Go straight on.
Whoa! It's the car didn't even stop at the stop sign. It's scary, isn't it? I mean, when you see stuff like that, it kind of like make you see a different perspective in life. Yeah. Anyway, that car gave me a little bit of heart attack. Well, not like, just figuratively speaking, I would say. Right, so this is it, and the last 3 hours should be quite fast because now it's on a highway. Just now it was a little bit of town travel, it's always a bit slower. But alright, I mean, within 2 hours I can get the job done. And the first time it took such a long time. I don't think I've done a long distance like this in the American Truck Simulator version at all. It's the first time I'm doing it. So, yeah. Any closing thoughts around the whole situation? I would say, I don't know. Maybe I'll check in again with you all after 1 month, and I'm sure I'll do a video before that. But I may do other games. Maybe I'll do another trucking video after 1 month to just talk about my whole partial lockdown experience, which I'm sure some of you is already experiencing that at your countries. And see how I survive 1 month without going out much. It's going to be hard. Even working from home is a little bit strange to me. I don't really like the notion of not interacting with people. Although I see the positive side of it because it's getting a little bit more flexible. And people are getting more understanding as well, I would say. But yeah, I think all in all, I don't know. If I could choose, I would rather work whereby I can see my colleague. Yeah. Okay, so now this part is a little bit slower, I think because of the junction ahead. But yeah, soon enough I'll reach there. Whew. Wow, what an achievement, man. I always wanted to do that. I don't think I've done it before. I don't think I've done it before though, by the way. And for trucking non-stop for 2 hours. on one destination. Maybe I've done it for multiple destinations and just like truck for the half a day. But there's always a rest somewhere, because after you make delivery, you can go out and, you know, kind of like grab a mug of water or whatever. You could pause the game right now. I mean, there's no hard and fast rules. Just now I should have paused the game before I take water or do or whatever it is, before I kind of scratch the truck by the side. But yeah, just want to get it done and just keep going, the truck keep going. Close, it's very close. You may see another sunset before I get there. I hope it'll be very soon. It dropped into 1 hour mark soon. Another reduction in speed limit because of road work, I think, or just junction. Right? Yeah, just a junction. I love the sound of the truck though. It's a Lone Star International. Is there a rock or snow on top? I think it's just a rock, huh? Yeah, I'm attempting to overtake all these trucks. I think it'll take a while, but I'll reach there. I think I'm slightly faster than them. I think they're doing probably a 60, I'm doing 65. Or not. By the way, there's a spaceman, the Moonwalk guy. It's a toy. I bought the space paint job, which is what you see in this truck anyway. The paint job is beautiful. You'll see in just a bit when I park the truck. Well, it looks like I'm not able to overtake the truck in front. I can't get back to the right hand side because there's another car on the mirror side. I can see that, so I just have to stay here for a while. Where's a police car? Well, it's a bit uncomfortable. I would like to go back in, but there's just the cars on this side, and I can't because somehow they are very close to my trailer. At this point in time, I don't want to damage my trailer, to lose my XP and or money. So that's why I'm sticking on the left hand side. I really thought I could overtake the truck though, because they did look quite slow initially, but obviously it's not. Yeah, it's below the 1 hour plus mark, and it's pretty soon wrap up the thing. Keen to see what kind of toy they will give. It'd be funny if they'll hang a toy that look like coronavirus. I know it's a bad joke, but yeah, I should show you a picture of one of the. So I was in the supermarket the other day, and I see whether I can show a picture and put in the description of the video. But it looks like it's like a ball. It's like, you know, white in color, but they got some.
Keep right.
And they got
then
some
turn
kind of
right.
like crown or sticks around. I mean, like different color, like green and red and whatnot, that stick around the ball, and it really looked like coronavirus. But the thing is not coronavirus, of course. It's I think it's a toy for the dogs. So somehow the dog, like, you can throw a ball and then they bite, and then, you know, it's soft. And but it's just that it is a white ball with a bit of like you know, crowns everywhere, sticks everywhere,
Turn
like
right.
the coronavirus. So I thought it was very strange. Yeah, come on guys, you know. So almost there. What a day. Another day passed by. So sometimes, you know, I don't know whether you guys are looking at the stats of all these coronavirus kind of infection rate versus the whatever death rate. And it's always kind of like, I think after a while, the number doesn't seem to make any sense anymore. I think initially when I look at the number, I say, oh no, there's like a 100 case, it's a big deal. Then after that become like, oh no, there's like a 500 case, and fatality, there's a big deal. But then now you see all this number, look at America, is probably one of the highest up there. I think they went up really, really fast, very, very high. So yeah, and it's kind of interesting to see the fatality as well, which there's a lot of things you can derive from there as well, of course. So first thing first is that the confirmed cases versus the fatality is always a good story to tell. It could mean that the population is an aging population, or it could mean that the country not doing enough testing. So I think Germany has a pretty high case rate, confirmed case rate, but not that high in fatality. And it could mean that they have a really good healthcare system as well, whereby they can take care of all these people with the ventilator and all. But it's always interesting to see all this all this number, and the look at China to start with, and then look at the fatality ratio versus the confirmed cases. Some country, like I my friends, my colleague in the UK, I really wish that he's fine, his family as well. So he's exhibiting syndrome. His syndrome is pretty severe as well, but I don't know, the healthcare system in the UK maybe just a little bit different. He couldn't even get tested. I mean, he wanted to get tested so that he can get proper medical care, right? Because once the person know that whether it's positive or negative, at least you could like either stay at home, like quarantine and whatnot, that happen, or they put you into a hospital that help you through the process. But it is rather strange that they don't have that luxury of being able to just test it. The test case itself is not that the test kit itself is not that expensive. I wouldn't think so, but it's just that it's just the process itself, maybe just too many people or not. But I always find it a little bit strange if someone feel that there is a syndrome that would like to get tested. You can't. Now here in Singapore, what happened is this. If you go to see a general practitioner, GP, if you exhibit kind of syndrome, they try to assess your severity. If it is not too severe, so they would like give you medicine. They give you 5-day medical leave. You stay at home and don't go anywhere. You get jailed and fined if you do. But basically just stay at home. But if you do feel that you are coughing a lot, or if you do feel that you have like fever and all, what you can do, you can check into a center that is specifically handling all this outbreak. So that center itself, you check yourself in and they'll do a test for you. Simple as that. There's no, within 4 hours you know the result. So that is how we do it in Singapore. But it's a very strange that my friend in the UK couldn't even access to the test kit at all when he feel that because his family also sick with the whole cough, and they feel that this is something that this could be a bit more serious. So yeah, I'm really I feel for him. He's a really funny guy, but yeah, it's just one of those things in life. I really hope that his family and him is going to recover. Do I know anybody who is having a COVID-19? Probably not yet. But I'm sure it's a pretty terrible kind of experience for some of the people. All right. Okay, I am reaching the destination, and thank you so very much for watching this video. I hope that I'm keen to hear feedback. Are there any topics that you'd like me to talk about? What do you think about the format? Is it too long? I don't know, because it's kind of funny when I talk to people. Some actually really prefer the whoa, this is the one to the plane. Nice. How do I get in? So I've got friends who sometimes some of my friends prefer that I do a long video, and some of my friends prefer that I do a shorter video kind of thing. I don't know, depending on whether you have time to watch or not. So I can't get it. I think I need to reverse that into the What? Hang on a sec. Okay. Right, I'll park where you need it. I think it'll be fun. Okay, so I need to park all the way there. Oh no, it's not to the plane. Well, anyway, sorry about that. I thought I was going to go out of the plane. I think the first time I have this this DLC, I actually have to park all the way to the plane. It was really fun. But anyway, it's a large area, so this is again not that hard, which is good. Okay, let's see. That should be one of the easiest one to park. I don't know why I'm taking so long. I could have done the other way, just go around it, or maybe I can't because the engine is there. Right, I think I just need to strengthen this guy and yep, that's it. Okay, not the best looking car parking, but yeah, that's done. It's off the engine. Right, so that is done. I've got it all sorted. I've done like I think enough miles to clock in the and I got to level 41, 42. There's a lot of XP there. Yeah, so the damage I've done it was just purely to the truck, not the cargo. So that's all. Thank you so very much for watching. Event completed. You can't really see here because my face is blocking, but yeah, I'm happy that it's done. Yeah, so in any case, enjoy this event. Stay at home trucking, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.